Hello and welcome to WOW, a positive podcast. Listening to kids and showing them there's a lot more to our world than bad news. I'm Alastair, and as a journalist I spent many years bringing people bad news from all over the world. Now I realise that if we're really going to fix our problems, we need a bit of hope and inspiration too. And so I get together with my podcast buddy Clarisse to talk about what people are already doing to come up with solutions. Right now, of course, our big problem is coronavirus. Clarisse and I are keeping you up to date with the good news. So if you want to cheer up a friend, do send them a link to this. WOW News, the positive podcast.
Hi, Alastair. So, you've got good news on the coronavirus for us.
Hi, Clarisse. Yes, I've worked out that we are already a long way down the track to getting rid of this nuisance.
Really? How do you work that out, Alastair?
Well, to me, Clarisse, beating coronavirus is a bit like the World Cup. To knock out the competition and lift the trophy, you basically have to win 7 matches.
Ah, yes, like France in 2018.
Well, yes, Clarisse, I guess. Not everyone's French like you, but yes, when we beat COVID, it will be like the human race is all on the French team at the World Cup 2 years ago. Now you mention it, it's probably as well that we're not my team, Scotland. In fact, we humans are absolutely guaranteed to win this tournament. So yeah, in that sense, we're much more like France.
Mais bien sûr. In that case, of course we will. Allez les bleus, allez les bleus.
Yup, you said it, Clarisse. We're pretty much in the World Cup final already against coronavirus, by my reckoning. Just sit back, let me run down how many games we've already won against COVID-19.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
So, back in November, coronavirus opened the scoring by making people ill in China. It was tough. And at most times in history, that would have been really bad news for us humans. You know, our ancestors had no idea what a virus was or how it made it sick. But no more. In just a few weeks last year, Chinese doctors had zoomed in on COVID, they'd taken its picture with microscopes, and even worked out its genes. They had COVID's fingerprints and they shared them with the world. So that was round 1 of humans versus bugs, and we absolutely smashed it. We know a huge amount about this COVID thing, and that's given us a flying start on the way to beating it all together.
Great. Round 1 to us. Woohoo!
Absolutely. But it gets better. Round 2, how to spot the bug. Almost as soon as we knew what it looked like, doctors in several countries had devised tests, so now we can identify which of us actually has the bug at any one time and so needs to stay in isolation. So that's already humans 2, bugs 0. Round 3, the virus started spreading around the world, but we've kept one step ahead by spreading ourselves out. Billions of us are staying comfortably at home, keeping our distance, keeping safe. Yeah, sure, it's not much fun, but that's 3 wins out of 3 for us humans so far.
And what about washing our hands?
Yes, thanks for mentioning it, Clarisse. That's another human invention that keeps the bugs at bay. We've all been washing our hands like mad, and the bugs don't like it. Coronavirus can't stand soap and water. So we've cruised to victory in our 4th round match. Now, as we get further on in the World Cup, of course, the competition tends to get tougher. Round 5, we're into the quarterfinals. It involves a lot of people pushing back against the virus once they've already got sick. Now, most people, when they get it, don't actually get very ill. And by the way, kids almost never get sick with COVID. But some people do get really bad with the virus, and they can especially have trouble breathing. That's when they need to go to hospital, and they need help with breathing from machines called ventilators. Now, in some places, it seems we don't have enough of these things at the moment. But amazingly quickly, we've seen engineers and doctors coming up with all sorts of clever solutions. They're turning out simple ventilators in factories that normally make vacuum cleaners, for example, or doctors are rigging up things so that they can have more than one person on the same ventilator. So, it's been a tough fight, sure, but I reckon we've just won round 5.
That's good to know. But what more do we need?
Well, Clarisse, where we are right now, I'd say is near the end of the 6th round. A kind of semi-final in this COVID World Cup. Because what doctors are looking for now is some drugs that we already have in the cupboard that can help people who are sick. Right now there are tests going on of at least 4 drugs, which we have in quite large amounts and that do seem to be helping. So I feel the match in round 6, well, maybe it's a draw at the moment between the humans and the bugs, but we're about to score the winning goal, I'm sure, confirming that we've got the drugs to fight back.
Wow, that's fantastic, Alastair. So we nearly won the World Cup.
You bet. For me, the big final game against coronavirus will end up with us humans finding a vaccine that will protect us all in the future from catching COVID.
And when will that happen?
Well, pretty soon, I reckon. Thousands of scientists around the world are already working hard on different types of vaccine. There could be breakthroughs as soon as in the next few weeks. Now, there's a word of caution here. Once they do work out a vaccine, that's a drug that we can all get to make sure we don't catch a disease, well, it will take quite a few months to test it out and to make sure it's safe. After all, we might be giving it to billions of people, so we have to be sure that it doesn't hurt any of them as well.
And you sure that we'll find the vaccine?
Well, don't just take my word for it. The scientific experts all reckon it's just a matter of time. Winning the vaccine game, that will mean humans 7 victories in 7 on the way to lifting the COVID World Cup.
Yeah, like France.
Yes, Clarisse, like France. And maybe Scotland, one day. Anyway, I think it's safe to say that we've already won 5 or 6, well, let's say 5.5 out of 7 games in this World Cup contest against COVID, and we can be very confident of putting the virus out of this game altogether.
Thanks, Alastair. That makes me feel better. And do you know, I have another plan to make our listeners feel better too.
Really? What's that, Clarisse?
Well, I've made up a magic recipe of things that cheer me up, and I'd like our listeners to make their own. Ready? So, you draw a big pot on a sheet of paper. Then you can write words inside the pot, or draw things, or stick on pictures cut from magazines. Into the pot, you put all the things that make you happy. You can even make words up.
I'm not sure I would know where to start.
Let me give you an example. Well, here's the recipe in my pot. Lots of fruit, some chunks of chocolate, a bar of soap, a touch of mint, and what I call luminovitamina. Sprinkle in some music and a pinch of smile, et voilà.
That sounds brilliant, Clarisse. I'll let you go and enjoy it. Now, I hope all of you out there got the idea from Clarisse. Send us your pictures or your recipes. You can reach us at MyWowTime on Facebook or Instagram, or contact us at our website. That's www.wow-news.eu. Got that? www.wow-news.eu. We've had the builders in, so our site's looking very fresh, but do excuse a little bit of a mess still. Anyway, thank you all for listening. We'll be back in a few days with more updates from Wow News, the positive podcast. Don't forget to check out our website for more stories at, you got it, www.wow-news.eu. And help us cheer up kids around the world by passing on this podcast to a friend. Till next time, stay safe and keep positive.